All right, so I should be live here. Hold on one second. Screwed something up with this different software here. All right. Let's see. Now I should be live. Let's let a few people get in here. Did you have to exit and go back into the stream, or was it the one you were waiting on? All right, cool. We are live. Let's give it another minute just to look at this and make sure I got everything going here. I got, hey, this is the first, well, not the first live stream, but the first time I tried scheduling one, so I wanted to make sure I was all right. I wish I was on that other page. I have to, just give me 1 second here. Let's see. All right, we got some people. Well, congratulations to the ones here in the chat that said they were getting their license. I'll start now. Welcome everyone here to the live stream, KJ4YZI with HamRadioConcepts. And so I got an idea here. I got a topic we're going to talk about. A couple things. This is a first for me, and not sure how this is going to work out, but I feel that I need to address a couple things. A couple things that maybe have buzzed me a little bit. So everybody is so far commenting a lot on the videos on the bands that I'm doing. Short videos, one band at a time. Looks like the newcomers to the hobby are enjoying that. They're learning a lot from it, so that's good. And the title on, I'm just trying to watch this chat here and trying to make sure. The title on this video here, the topic I got, what makes a good ham operator? And the reason I decided to do this was, let's sit back here and tell you for a second. So with this YouTube channel, it's a little time consuming. It takes a lot to make these videos, you know? So I've actually never, I live on YouTube. I mean, I watch YouTube every day. I don't watch TV, I watch YouTube. And so I started perusing YouTube, watching some other videos that people may be doing on amateur radio. And I normally didn't do that. Not saying that I'm better than that. I just didn't find myself looking at other, you know, I'd look at some, but some of the videos that I was watching, quite frankly, I can't believe that stuff's on YouTube. I really can't. So here's what I want to address, a couple things in a topic here about what makes a good ham operator. You know, some people may be thinking, well, I'm a newcomer to the hobby, or am I a good operator, or what can I do better, or where do I learn, or what do I do? Now, the joy of YouTube is this. There's so many people out there creating stuff, you know. YouTube is, I mean, I'm sure you've been lost on YouTube before, where you start on one video and next thing you know, you're finding other ones and other ones. And that's the joy of YouTube, is you can find all kinds of different people's content, and everybody does it differently. And that's the joy about it. So I'm just another piece of that puzzle. I'm just a number, you know. Doing these videos is something I like to do. And again, as I said before in another video, I started this channel because when I got into amateur radio in 2004, I thought, well, people I would always ask questions. You know, I'd ask questions, and I wanted to know how this worked, and people on the air would local repeaters and stuff. People on the air would give me insight. Some of it was positive, some of it wasn't. Sometimes I got discouraged, and I thought, wow, this is you know, a little tough. I got to be careful what I ask. So I figured, well, you know, when I started getting more comfortable and learned a lot on ham radio from other people, I figured I'd spread the word, you know. So I'm just out here making videos, and for those that are wondering, I'm not changing the media on the channel. I'll still be. I got some great stuff coming up on videos, some brand new stuff, checking out, you know, reviews and stuff. So I'm just touching a little bit lately on some of the newcomers with these basic videos that you may already know this kind of stuff, but there's people out there, believe it or not, that don't know. And here's what started to strike a chord for me was when I started to watch these other videos, some of the things I thought. Now again, these are people that have been in the hobby way longer than I have. These people should know better. Not saying they're totally all the time wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not mentioning any names in this video. I'm not going to point out anybody. But let me tell you a story here. When I got on the air for the first time, and I got on a repeater, and you could tell I was new, you know. Have you ever been on the air, and whether you're a new person or you're on the air and you're talking to new people, you ever heard that person that sounds scripted, like they're afraid to get on there and call CQ, and they're very, you know, this is KJ4YZI CQ, like that's totally okay. That's a newcomer. He's getting his feet wet in the hobby, you know. But there was one time people that right away noticed that from me and on the air, and they were like you know, oh, well, you know, you're doing this wrong and you're doing that wrong. And I thought, man, that was pretty rude. You know, I'm new. I'm nervous, you know. So that was in the beginning. Well, then I noticed, you know, with all these people watching my videos and how new they are, I noticed that there's people out there that are making videos that have been doing this sometimes 50 years, and they're like, they're yelling at the new guys. They're talking to them in video form, and they're like, you know, you're doing this wrong. If you're on the air, I'm not talking to you. Like, really? This guy just got his license and started, you know, he doesn't know why, okay. It's going to start turning into a rant here. I'm all excited now. Let me start with this topic. So I was watching a video on YouTube, and first of all, let me say this. One of the only channels that I subscribe to, and I'm gonna blast this channel right now for positivity, and I want everybody watching, or everybody who watches this, to subscribe. If you haven't seen Johnny on Signal Search, now I want you to check out, go to YouTube, and I'll put the link in the description below. Check out Signal Search, one word, SIGNALSEARCH. Johnny, I'm drawing a blank in your call sign, buddy, sorry. I love watching it. This guy has a smile on his face. I think he may be a little younger than I am, maybe older, I don't know. This guy's got a smile on his face. He's enthused about it. He's like just showing you what you can do, but he's bridging with outdoors at the same time. Like, hey, I'm going outdoors in QRP and, you know, enjoying the hobby, right? Just enjoying the hobby his way, but he's doing it with a smile on his face. He likes doing it. He's not, you know, arrogant, and I like it. I go to Signal Search, check out his channel. So with that said, I was watching another video, and the guy says, well, if you have a handheld, it's a toy, and you're not going to do anything with it, and you're going to be stuck on repeaters, and who wants that? Now, okay. Michelle! I'll ask somebody that doesn't, Michelle! I probably have to yell for her. She's probably outside. Hey, I'll ask you, what is this?
It's a handheld radio.
I don't know if they can hear you. Say it again.
It's a handheld radio.
What do you do with a handheld radio?
Communicate.
Okay, if you were a newcomer and you had this as your first radio, what would you think? Would that? I mean, would you be able to talk to people?
Yeah.
In an emergency situation, would this come in handy? Portable?
Of course it would.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm live. Thank you.
Oh, God.
So, okay, so that's the wife. She's not even licensed yet. But to tell someone, the new guy, that saved his bucks or it doesn't know where to go, to start with a handheld, okay, or to tell the new guy not to start with a handheld because it's a toy and you're not going to do anything with it and you're going to be stuck on a local repeater, that is totally wrong. Like, let the new guy experiment and get and maybe you don't want to recommend a Bofeng, fine, but you're telling me every person that's got a D-Star handheld, or every person that's got a Fusion handheld is not an operator or is using a toy? I think like every person in our local club has a $300 digital handheld, an ICOM D-Star handheld, and they talk all over the world with it. So a handheld maybe is not as good as a mobile, but it's not a toy. At the same time, let's go to this. If somebody tells you, well, if you're calling CQ wrong, and if you're calling CQ wrong, I'm not going to answer you. Back to the handhelds for me. I see people commenting on it. You know what I like about the prepper channels on YouTube? They all have handhelds because in an emergency situation, that handheld may come in very handy and save lives and do a lot of good with a handheld. So a handheld is, but I'm just bringing a point up that newcomers to the hobby, you gotta figure out where you want to learn on YouTube, okay? And to that person, Scott Ellis, my first radio was a Radio Shack HTX 202, very similar to that one. And if I didn't start with that HTX 202, if someone told me or Scott here or anybody, you have to spend $1,000 to start in ham radio, how many people do you think would be in this hobby today? Probably not a lot. If I told my son, who's coming on 18, if I told him, hey, if you're going to drive, you got to save up for a Mercedes-Benz. Like, I think once he sees the price tag on that and sees what's involved in it, he might not be, inclined to get, like I did, a 1987 GMC Jimmy that had a blown motor, and I learned about that engine and about vehicles by rebuilding that motor and getting it on the road. And it cost me a little bit of money to do that, but I had fun doing that, and that taught me about some automotive. So that makes sense. So anyways, if someone, and this is a video coming up soon about calling CQ and engaging in a conversation. I have actually a 19-year-old son that's in the Army as well, so thank him for his service. There are rules in amateur radio, and there are good practices, but there are a lot of there's a lot of things that are not just plain out wrong. Like if someone tells you you're calling CQ wrong, now you have to analyze that for a minute. Are you including your call sign? Are you including their call sign? Are you calling appropriately on a free frequency? Yes, there's things, good practice. But here's another one that someone told on a YouTube channel, and I could not believe what I heard when I heard this. Poor hams use phonetics in ham radio. If you buy a $500 mic and a $1,000 mixer and all this pro studio gear, you will hear my call sign without using phonetics. Now that right there is probably the most poor comment I've ever made. Phonetics were back in like the 20s in the military. I mean, come on. If someone said, KJ4YZI, or I said KJ4YZI, that may be KJ4IZY, or IDI, or YDI. I mean, you're telling me that let's leave pro radio to pro audio to pro audio, and studio to studio, and microphones for instruments like this behind me to that. I don't think we need to have all this stuff in the hobby to make it fancy. And there's a place for that. There's a place for a brand new IC7300. There's a place for a brand new Yaesu FT991. There's a place for a lot of amplifiers. There's people who do it. I'm not against it. But what I don't like doing is, I don't like, if you've noticed, I really don't like having my drum set behind me, but I'm just me, man. I'm just me. And I don't like when people use it like a power trip and they show themselves filming the right way with $8,000 of gear behind them. It's great to show off your stuff. It's our hobby together, and you can do that. You can have fun. You can purchase stuff. But if you say you're better than I am because you have more gear, that's not a good place to learn. I'm sorry. It's not a good place to learn. You know, there's people that's been doing this longer than I am. There's people that have been building amplifiers that I wish I knew how to do. I've dabbled in a few solid-state amplifiers, but people that use amateur radio like a power trip doesn't make you a good operator. Good operator's up here. Good operator is here. Good operator is good cause and wanting to learn and wanting to help others learn. One of the greatest things I've seen on Johnny's channel on Signal Search was on a video that's titled Portable Ham Radio Tips and Tricks. And he says right in the video, you know, it's enjoying the hobby, what I love to do, and maybe sparking an interest for other people that may be bystanders that get interested into the hobby. Bring people into the hobby. Don't scare them away. When you engage with that guy on HF for the first time and you can tell he's a new guy, don't tell him his audio sounds like shit. Don't tell him he's got loose wires and he needs to learn how to do this and do that. Be there for him to get him comfortable in the hobby. Be there for him to teach him. Maybe set up an email schedule and say, hey, contact me. I'd like to talk to you. You will never hear me on the air say, you know what? I'll tell you how to use that radio. Go to YouTube and watch my channel. I don't like doing that. I have had a few people get a hold of me or hear me on the air, and they were just like fascinated to talk to me like I'm a celebrity. Guys, I'm just another one like you. I just happen to have fun doing this. But the people that do that, you know, and they may say, well, I watched your video and it inclined me to buy this. That's great. I'm glad it had an impression for you. But I've heard a person or two that gets on and says, well, you know, before we go any farther, check out the radio I'm talking on and subscribe to my channel. I think that's using ham radio like business purpose. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. But I guess that's cool if you want to do that. And if nobody cares, fine. But I don't like doing that. I would rather be on the air and hear in a pileup that guy that sounds like he's trying to get his very first pileup. I'll dig through all of it to find him. That's just how I am. You know, so okay, so this rant, I know what's going on in the rant. I'm just, you know, stating some facts. I'm not telling you that this is the best radio show. I'm not telling you to leave everybody and to follow me. And I'm not telling you I know everything. I'm not doing it. But I'm telling you I'm real. And I want you as the YouTube follower, you know, there's creators and there's followers on YouTube. That's how YouTube works. That's how they make their money. Find the people that you want to learn from and use your knowledge to see what sounds good and what doesn't, or what's right and what's wrong. For instance, you know, if you think something that's wrong, something that I said is wrong, you know, I like to speak the truth and a lot of experience. You know, believe it or not, I spend more time playing radio and playing with things when I get home than I do enjoying time with my wife and family, and that's kind of sad. But I have a lot of hours doing this. You know, I tinker with stuff. I you know, play with. I got to get home and wire this cable and do this and do that, you know. So I have a lot of experience doing this stuff, but I'm not always right, and I get that. So this video, I don't think you'll ever see a whole gigantic thing behind me, you know, impressing you. Although I will tell you that my FT450 is a great rig. You've seen it. People have commented it so many times, but it's time for an upgrade, and I've earned that. You know, that's the cool thing. It's like opening a new present every day, just like I told you in the last video, or 120-meter video, my HF bands one at a time. I said it's like opening a new gift every day. So I've already used this radio and used it and brought it portable and used it mobile and done all that, and I'm still going to use it. But I rewarded myself with getting another radio, and I could start all over. And I don't have to go out and buy the best things and say, well, you don't sound as good as I am because you're not using a mixer and soundproofing around your room, and your compression's 2 dB above the ALC, whatever. This for the person that said you don't use phonetics, you get a better microphone. I don't think I'll ever watch their video again. And I hope that this brings insight to some of the people making videos. And I didn't bash nobody, and I hope they don't bash me. But let's get in there and start teaching the newer guys and getting more people involved. Get out there and operate on your field day and bring a friend. You know what field day is for? Do you know what field day is for? Field day is like a global activation to get everybody out there and fire up that gear and get back into it in case you've taken a hiatus, and learn new things, meet new people, spread the word about the hobby, and hone your skills. Another thing that Signal Search says. I have no problem plugging a channel for good content. He says, I hone my skills. I get out there, I can set up an antenna in 5 minutes. Ask me how many people that have $25,000 of antennas go out there on 5 watts on QRP and operate with a Coke can antenna. They don't. They tell you QRP is no fun. This is what I'm trying to get at. I'm starting to, Mike Brewer, hey, that adds to the fun. But I mean, I've with my, just to give you an update on the channel, you guys, my followers, whoever's watching, I got 98 people watching. I'm not sure how many people enjoy the live stream or not. But I have almost 1 million minutes watched per month. I'm getting about 800 to 900 subscribers new per month. Now, I consider that, I think, wow, out of those 800 or 900 subscribers a month, maybe 100 of those people just started ham radio. And I want to capture those people as people that are new and show them what they can do in the hobby and let them have fun. It's just me. I have, the things go up and down, but I'm steady at like 976,000 minutes watched. At any 48-hour time, there's 17,000 people that watched my videos. 17,000 people per 48 hours is like 500 or 400 per hour. That's quite a bit of people watching. So that's the thing I want to bring up too. The power of YouTube. When you have information, and guys, it's okay to be wrong. It is absolutely okay to be wrong. There's no problem with that. But don't tell somebody else you're the only right answer and they're wrong and you're the only source to watch. Let's all have a piece of this pie, man. Let's all get together, find a common place where we all share, as creators, and people watch us and people communicate with us and this and that. But to tell people, that they're doing it wrong as a newcomer, or that they sound like crap, or they need to do this and do that, I've kind of had enough of it, and I just had to vent on a long-winded 23-minute. That's another reason I like. I found DX Commander M0MCX Callum. He just has like to-the-point videos. Doesn't really. I mean, he may have an opinion or two, and that's fine. But he doesn't really. He gets on there, makes a video, he's gone. And like that. I learned from his videos. As a person of myself, I learned from his videos. I like watching Signal Search because it's something that I don't do. So I go to another YouTube person to watch what they do. And Johnny is going out there enjoying I wish I had time to go out in those kind of places and operate CW. But this brings me to the last point, okay? The last point. Jay Rhodes. I was thinking about doing some PSK nets, some HF nets and stuff. That's coming. I just got to hone my, get used to live stream first before I move on. Again, one step at a time, right? I'm taking a little piece of puzzle at a time. The thing with the bands, and I've said, have you noticed if you've watched all these videos so far on the HF bands, learning the HF bands, I think I've made it pretty clear that, I got to stop. Right here, there's people in the chat already helping a new person. Somebody is helping somebody else in the chat. Right there. And that's what it's about, you know. So, I've said it quite a bit. People online on a certain website, and I'm not going to name the website because I have officially withdrawn from posting anything more on this website because of just the inexperience and the backlash I get from it, but whatever. So the people on the air and people all say, man, you know, we're going in a lower solar cycle. The bands are no good. I haven't turned my radio on. I'm sick and tired of hearing that. I really am. Go look at Johnny's video, okay? And I don't even know. I've never even met Johnny. I'm just saying. I hope this guy gets some people watching because that's the content you need. But what I found was he was in this car. I guess it was too cold or something out in one of these videos. And he was in this car, and he's banging them out. He edited good. He's banging contacts out one at a time on this he does a lot of parks on the air, summits on the air, and sounds good to me at 5 watts on QRP with a simple antenna, doesn't it? And it looks like a lot of fun. So how do you say the bands are crowded? Yeah, you may have a peak with a top of a solar cycle. You know, it may get a lot better and easier, but there's always propagation out there. There's always someone to talk to. Get out there, and this is coming. Get out there and call CQ, and the video will explain how I call CQ. Not telling you how you need to call CQ. My video is going to tell you how I call CQ, and you can determine how you want to call CQ in a good practice way, you know? So there's always somebody out there to talk to. And again, more as Lindsay Hicks just said, there's more things coming for HF radios. I'm just trying to broaden a little bit, so I'm not changing the format and telling everybody I'm just going to be an instructor, because there's people doing that too, and there's people making reviews too, and everybody has their own way of doing it. I don't like to. Someone asked me a couple times already. They said, wow, I just lost my train of thought reading the comments at the same time. Okay. I don't even know what I was talking about. Lost my train of thought. Oh, they said, how do you call yourself a YouTube review guy if you never say anything bad about anything? And that's a good point I want to address. Hopefully he's watching. With what I just said in the 27 minutes, I don't like bashing things. There has been countless times where a couple companies had sent me things, and they said, we want you to check this out, maybe show people this new product we have, and it failed or it wasn't good, and I just didn't show it. I have people now emailing me and commenting to me and messaging me on Facebook that they bought those things, and they said, Eric, I can't find any information on it, but it's a piece of crap, and I can't get it to work. Well, that's kind of why I didn't make a video on it. But, you know, all I like to show is what it is. You know, if it's something I like, you know, if, for instance, yeah, it may appeal to me and I like it, and that sounds like an unbiased review or a biased review or whatever. But, you know, it's just showing what you can do with it. So you can take your information and your knowledge and whatever you want, and watch other YouTubers as well and make up your own decision. Hopefully, I answer a lot of your questions in my videos when I'm checking out something like, well, I hate to show it again because this thing went viral. You've seen the video of the NanoSpot. You've seen the video of the IC7300. Both of those are like way up there. The NanoSpot guys, I haven't heard from them anymore because they're buried in sales, but it took off. Now, I showed a lot of what that did, and there was no other videos on the internet. But you made the decision, hopefully, on yourself to look at that and see, well, it does this, it does this, it does this, it does this, it doesn't do this, so I can use it. And there's some people that said they're going to stick with the Shark RF. Okay, that's fine. But I showed what it was. Now, had I have shown something and said, well, I'm going to show you the positives, and then I'm going to show you the negatives, what I don't like, and why you shouldn't buy it. How is that fair, for my opinion, to the company? How is that fair for you, for me to tell you you don't want it because of what I think? So I just show what it is. And that's, you know, that's what I do. I mean, this is, and again, if I stutter or whatever, it's live, man. I'm having fun doing it. I'm having fun doing this live thing, but I'm trying not to look at the camera because I hate the way I look on camera, and I've gotten over the camera shy recently. So I'm hoping that it's all right. You know, I've only got 81 people watching, so out of the 21,000 subscribers, I don't have too many people that are hating me right now. Any giveaways? Well, I had a couple giveaways lined up for this month, but I had to put them on hold. Well, a couple of reasons I had to put them on hold. I will do giveaways. I didn't see the kind of outcome that I would expect from a giveaway. Giveaway is great. I mean, what I mean is, it felt like a lot of people weren't interested in a giveaway. And at the same time, to give back to all you guys, I want to appeal to a new audience and appeal to my current audience. So some people said you can do away with the giveaways. Some people said, giveaways are great. And I want to giveaways. And if more companies would help me sponsor that, thank you again for Gigaparts. Thank you, Gigaparts and MFJ, for that giveaway, because I couldn't have done that without them. I've done a lot of videos on Gigaparts. I practically know all the people there now. They're awesome people. And the way that they talk to me is kind of like, hey, and that's another thing. What drives me bonkers about certain companies that you may not see all the time on my channel because of the way that they are. I've met them at Hamfests. I've talked to them on the phone, and they don't care about me. They don't care about you. They want their product on the site, on my video, their way or no way. And I'm not going to do that to you. Gigaparts is nice enough to lend me some gear and stuff and let me check it out. And thanks to Gigaparts for doing that. MFJ, the same thing. I buy some stuff from there. Sometimes they've sent me some things to check out. And I think that's a good thing on a company. So that's why I steer towards certain companies and what I like about them. Customer service is a big deal, man. Customer service in the line of work I do, customer service, you don't have it, you don't work. I mean, customer service is big. There's one reason I'll never buy certain products for Ham Radio, because of the way that I've met the people there, or met the creators, inventors, and people behind it. And if they're not good enough to talk to me and answer some of my questions, as even a nobody, if they don't know who I am, well, that's not nice. When you have a problem because you spent your hard-earned money on it, and they don't help you and offer you support, what good is that for you? So off that note, I have something else that I want to say, and we're at 32 minutes, so I was gearing for about a half hour. So, hopefully it's not too much for you. And as I get used to the live stream, maybe I'll do it once a week. We'll hone my skills and such. So I made a poll. I asked, what if I had some videos on something else that was RF and radio frequency and antenna related, but not exactly ham radio. I did do a video for a couple things, the weather radios, and I just wanted to bring that awareness, and I thought it'd be a good topic that would appeal to some other people that are not into ham radio. With that being said, I have a couple ideas, and I want you guys to follow along, and I really got some good topics that I want to, and I'm not talking all of them. We're not changing the format of this, but I have some things that I want to talk about and that everybody can relate to, but maybe not everybody's interested in the video. But it'll appeal to a lot of people outside of ham radio, maybe get them involved in the hobby. It'll appeal to a lot of people that are into ham radio that have never thought about that subject. So bear with me, because I have a couple things I want to talk about, and I think that it's beneficial for you to know. It's informative. It's educational. It's something I've done for a long time with some experience, and something that can, definitely benefit a lot of people. So look for those videos, and if you don't want to watch it, don't click on it. But a lot of people said the same thing. It's my channel, do what I want. I'm not just going to change and all of a sudden start reviewing makeup and putting eyeshadow on. It has nothing to do with ham radio. But if there's something, thank you to Donald, WB3BJU, for the donation, my friend. I really appreciate that. And if I missed another one here, I don't think I did. But it looks like Donald D. Egadi. Wow. I can't see that. Diadigidio. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Don, thanks for the donation, my friend. And so anyways, yeah, stay tuned to the videos, because if you can learn one thing from each one of my videos, hopefully that makes you a smarter person. My philosophy has been this: if I can learn one thing from somebody every day, by the time I retire, I'm going to be damn smart. And that's what I do. If I meet someone interesting, or I find somebody, anybody at the fast food restaurant, anybody, I ask a question. Well, what is that for? How does that work? I learn something. My mind is like a sponge. And that's why I live on YouTube, because I watch all these videos, and I mean, all kinds of stuff, how to do this, how people do that, what their theory is about it. And I learn from that. So if you can learn one thing from my videos, that would make me happy. And hopefully you could pass it on to somebody else, because what I think is what ham radio is all about. Taking your knowledge, sharing it with people, helping them out, elmering them, pass it along. I've seen in the chat a couple of times, Patrick, Ki4Lui, he's the one that got me directly started into ham radio. I could thank him for this mess I have on my desk, because I'm always into the hobby like that. But, he goes way back, and he always taught me different things. And he always said, Eric, don't do that. Think of frugal, let's get this piece of wire, let's throw this up, or let's get this mag mount antenna cheap from this yard sale, whatever. You don't have to spend a lot of money. And I mean, I took that and ran with it, and I made a lot of things from that. So, ZYA, excuse me. So, with that said, I'm going to wrap it up with this. Thank you again for all the subscribers, and I'll take a question or two here. Thanks again for the subscribers for following along. And if you missed anything I watched that I said in this video, please go back when the video is posted on the YouTube channel. Start over, and I want you to hear every bit of the video, because I don't want you to hear a little bit and think I'm just rude. Listen to the whole thing. I think I covered pretty good content. Can I see a couple suggestions in the chat here? Well, I don't know where the chat is. Let me see. I don't know why it won't chat. My chat just died here. I hope I'm still live. But I wanted to see what people thought about this video. But you can leave your comment. The comments stay there forever. Below the video on the comments, make sure you comment there. And thank you for watching. Share this video if you want. Share it. Put it everywhere. I didn't mention any names. Share the video. Tell people, hey, bring it to your clubs. Share it with a new person. Share it with somebody that just angers you, or somebody that whatever. Get the word out. Ham radio is our hobby, not a power trip. Okay? So if we all get together and do all that, we'll have way more fun. I hope to work you on the air. I've been on the air a little while, last couple of days while I was off from work, and I hope that I can get on the air more often. And if you want to leave a comment on Facebook, or leave a message somewhere and say, hey, I'm trying out my new rig for the first time, I got my license, I would be honored. I would be honored to be your very first contact. I mean, please. You won't get this from me. Well, as a newcomer, you need to learn how to be on the microphone in front of it. You're sounding a little muffled. You won't get that from me, all right? Thanks for watching. 7-3. Check out those channels I mentioned in the link below in the description. 7-3 from KJ4YZI. And now I got to end the live stream. How do I do this?